You may have seen that Stanley Black & Decker bought the rights to the Craftsman brand in 2017. Sears can continue sourcing and selling Craftsman tools, but the tools sold in places other than Sears stores will be sold by Stanley Black & Decker. Here's one of the first power tools Stanley has released. This is the top-of-the-line brushless impact driver, which is made in the USA of Global Materials. I bought this with my own money from Lowe's. I paid the regular price, which is $169 plus tax. I've been using it and putting it through some tests, and I'm going to give you an initial review. I have more planned for the future, including a teardown. Here's a look at everything you get in the box. You have a somewhat flimsy, but not too bad carrying bag here. And to be honest, this is probably a better choice than the gigantic blow-molded plastic case it would take to hold all of this stuff. The bag is made in China, which is not a surprise. There are 2 battery packs and the charger here. The battery packs themselves say they are assembled in China with cells made in Korea. So these are probably LG or Samsung cells. We'll find out in a future video. Of course, you get the impact driver itself, a belt clip here, and the instruction manual. Here are some of the specs. It's rated at 1,700 inch-pounds. The manual says there's a 3-year warranty on the tool, 2 years on the battery, and the batteries have 3 years of free service. But neither the manual nor the website say what the free service covers. The batteries are 2.5 amp hours with lithium cells. The charger takes up to an hour to charge the batteries if they're fully depleted. The impact is assembled with Global Materials in Charlotte, North Carolina. I know this is subjective, but after using it for a while, I have to say I like the ergonomics. To me, the grip is well shaped and the rubber overmolding is comfortable. It's pretty small and not too heavy. Another thing I like about this impact is that it's really compact. It comes in at right under 5.5 inches deep. For comparison here, I have this other drill. This is a cheap drill I bought just for little jobs around the house. And it's actually quite a small drill, but as you can see here, it is way longer than the Craftsman. Let's get right into it. I decided to test this thing by driving 3-inch screws into a 4x4 post. I wanted to see how easily it would drive the screws and how many it could drive on a single charge. So I charged up the battery and got to work. This impact has no problem driving these screws. You can see it just ran out of steam here. The battery, it keeps cutting out when I try to drive this final screw in. Taking a look at the impact driver, you can see there is nothing left on the battery meter. The battery itself feels a little bit warm. When we go up to the top, it is definitely warm here around the motor, and the gear case itself here is just hot. When it was all said and done, the impact drove 137 screws on a fully charged battery. I decided to do the test again with the other battery. I repeated it and got a similar number. The second battery drove 144 screws on a full charge. Just like last time, nothing left here on the meter. The battery feels a little bit hotter this time, but I'm out in my garage on kind of a hot night, so it's hotter than when I did the first test. Up here at the top, whoa, it is really hot around the motor, and whew, the gear case is very hot. I just finished up the test. I took the battery off the impact here and popped it on the charger. And check this out. It's the temperature warning light. So it will not charge this battery right now because it's too hot. Like I said, it's hotter right now than it was when I did the first test. It is a little over 80 degrees in my garage at the moment. If memory serves, the way this works is it'll just wait for a little while until the battery cools down, and then it'll start charging automatically. So I came up with an average of about 140 3-inch screws on a fully charged battery. I think that's pretty good, and here's how I judged it. Would the battery last you long enough that you could do a decent bit of work before you had to go out and swap batteries? So if you're doing an assembly line job like I was, then you can wear out the battery in a little under a half hour, which means you'll be stuck waiting around for the other one to charge because that takes about an hour. But I don't think that's a realistic scenario. On most of the jobs I do, the battery could handle them no problem. There would be plenty of time cutting boards, piecing things together. I'm not really constantly driving screws for an average job. Even on jobs where you are driving a lot of screws, like laying subflooring or something, they probably wouldn't be 3-inch screws. And you'd also be spending time, cutting the sheets, laying them down. You wouldn't just be driving screws constantly. Now, if you do have jobs a lot where you have to constantly drive screws, it might not be a bad idea to get something like this. This is a corded impact driver that I got from Sears a couple years ago. I don't think they still sell this one anymore, but you can get various different brands of these online. I had to rotate the tires on my truck, and I decided to try the impact for this job. On this truck, the lug nuts are torqued to 100 foot-pounds. I think this can be a kind of real-world test that shows us how this thing performs. Now, you might say, well, these are torqued to 100 foot-pounds, and this is rated at something like 140 foot-pounds, so that's no big deal, right? Well, not so fast. Yes, they're torqued to 100 foot-pounds, but it'll take more than that to break them loose. That's just how it works. And because this is a 1/4-inch hex drive tool, you have to use one of these adapters on it to go to a 1/2-inch socket, and those do sap some torque. So let's see how it performs. And I forgot to mention, I have a freshly charged battery here. That's number 4. I gotta say that I'm a little bit surprised here. I thought this impact driver might struggle to remove these lug nuts, and it did it relatively easily. Now, that's not to say this is going to replace dedicated cordless tools for mechanical work or pneumatic tools. My air-powered Ingersoll Rand impact can buzz these lug nuts off much quicker and more easily than this impact driver. So yes, you can use this for light-duty stuff like these lug nuts, but don't think you're going to use this for heavy-duty suspension work, rusted fasteners in the undercarriage, things like that. For those kind of jobs, you need a more powerful tool. This is called Made in the USA with global materials. The reason it's not just labeled Made in the USA is because it includes imported parts. The Federal Trade Commission regulates Made in the USA labeling. I'll put a link to their site in the description. For an item to just be labeled Made in the USA, all or virtually all of the parts and processes must be from the USA. If you search on YouTube, you can find videos inside Stanley's US factories. They do more than I expected. You can find videos of them even winding motors in the USA. This new Craftsman brushless impact looks pretty similar to some DeWalt tools, which is another Stanley brand. This DeWalt DCF 887 seems to have the closest specs. It comes with two 2.0 amp-hour batteries, so the same as the Craftsman, and it's kind of a similar price. The DeWalt here is rated at a higher max torque though, 1,825 inch-pounds versus 1,700 on the Craftsman. As far as price goes, this new Craftsman impact comes in at $169 regular price, which is what I paid. The DeWalt ranges in price depending on where you buy it, up to about $219 at places like Home Depot or Lowe's, but it's only about $160 on Amazon. I'm really interested to see what kind of sale prices we eventually see on this Craftsman impact. Craftsman tools, are frequently aimed at DIYers, so they often go on sale, especially around holidays. So my guess is we'll see a better price than this $169 after this has been out for a while. The warranties are also somewhat similar between the brands. DeWalt says this has a 3-year warranty on the tool itself. This kit includes the DCB 203 battery packs, so they have 2 years of free service. And the DeWalt manual defines the free service here, and it basically looks like 2 years of warranty. This here says 1 year of free service. That's referencing the tool overall. Here we can see the 2 years of free service on the battery packs. The Craftsman warranty is not so clear. Here on the Lowe's website, it says there is a 3-year warranty on the tool, as well as a 3-year warranty on the battery. So, when you go look in the manual, here's what you see. Yes, there is 3 years of coverage on the tool itself, but it says only 2 years warranty on the battery. But this kit includes the CMC B202 batteries, so it says here they have 3 years of free service. However, the manual here does not say what that free service actually covers, and neither does the Lowe's website or the Craftsman website. And when I contacted Craftsman and asked, I did not get a really clear answer. So I'm kind of still waiting to see what this free service on the Craftsman actually covers. Here we have a picture of the DeWalt DCF 887 brushless impact that I took, and over here is a picture of my Craftsman brushless impact. Right off the bat, we can see that there are some similarities and some differences. Obviously, the plastic cases here and the gear cases are different, but the overall shapes are very, very similar, and this speed selector switch is in the exact same place on both of them. Also, the screws even appear to be in the same places. So, is this Craftsman impact here a rebranded DeWalt? Well, we don't have enough evidence to say that right now. The specs between the two are a little bit different. My guess is they're relatives and perhaps based on the same basic design. Overall, I am pretty impressed with this. It's compact and it's got a good bit of power for such a small impact. Some people may want a tool that's fully made in the USA and not just built in the USA with global materials as we see there. But I think you can argue that this is a step in the right direction. And this is a huge step up from the Craftsman power tools of the past, in my opinion. But that comes with a cost, and that cost is cold hard cash. This is not cheap, about the same price as a similar DeWalt tool. But to me, it looks like you are getting your money's worth here. And I'm really interested to see the price when this Craftsman Impact goes on sale. If it goes on a decent sale price, it could be a real bargain. So what do you think about this? Does it look like it's worth the price to you? Let me know in the comments down below. Hit that like button and that subscribe button. And thanks for watching.